I would like to say that the reason that Muhammad reacted as he did to whatever happened to him in the cave made perfect sense in the context of the time and was exactly how absolutely anyone, if you had described the scenario, would have reacted. And that there's nothing like unusual or confusing or perplexing about what happened in terms of if you had described it to any ancient person, what would they say happened? They had no question, and I will give you evidence for that.
Excellent, excellent. So I had a funny clip to start it off. Oh, there it is. I had forgotten to load it up, so give me 1 second to load it up. But while I am doing that, we had a uh, comment from the beloved people of the chat that we all need to convert to Islam because Una has found the most amazing hadith. She says, I found a hadith that is guaranteed to make you convert to Islam. Sahih al Bukhari 55:17. Truly inspired. Let me just read this hadith for everyone. Narrated Abu Musa. I saw the Prophet eating chicken. You ready to convert, Mary?
Oh, definitely. And by the way, I went into detail as to what that hadith is, what the context for it is, because it's actually an abbreviation of a longer one on a recent stream of the Black Doctors where he was explaining his fundraiser for his trip to England. I was on there and they brought up the chicken hadith, and people were just like, why is that there? And I gave the full context. And it's so much funnier if you have the whole context. It is hilarious because it has to do with oath making and oath breaking in Islam and with the complete uncertainty as to what was and was not permitted. And we also talked about Muhammad's reaction to rabbits and to rabbits menstruating and to the number of fingers that a lizard has. All of this ties in.
Fascinating stuff. I encourage people to check that out. So for our clip today, oh, sorry. First, I had to read this comment from Una. Nice. Even Muhammad loved Chick-fil-A. So there you go. So for our fun clip that isn't related to today's video this time, have a recommendation from the audience. It's probably at least a month ago that someone pointed out this video. Just got a chance to check it out. This is Mufti Menk, our beloved purveyor of apples, giving some or advertising for his new app, which will help you with nikah. Let's hear what he has to say.
My beautiful brothers and my amazing sisters.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I loaded the wrong one. I loaded his. So he took a lot of flack for this video, and that was actually his explanation for the video, not the original video. All right, so here's the actual original video. Sorry about that. I was like, wait a minute, that's not how he starts the clip.
150 million flowers. We will help you to find that one. Introducing the future of matrimony, built on the same core values we know and love, but ready for the new generation. But what does that mean? Meet the artificially intelligent Wali, your messaging companion. An AI that learns your likes and dislikes so that your matches get smarter. Everyone's identity is verified, including their images. All your data is protected for peace of mind. Your journey is beautiful, special, and we understand that. So we've made questions just as unique, including a feature to lock your profile in case you'd like to develop a connection with one particular person. We are Sharia compliant and focus solely on marriage, no dating. And I truly believe that this app will help you in that journey, inshallah. Simply Nikah, your pathway to love, trust, and happiness.
This makes me wince so hard because, okay, so he was born in Zimbabwe, right? His native language is not Arabic. Nikah doesn't mean marriage. It means intercourse. And the normal word that you just use for marriage in everyday language is not nikah. You don't say, "Oh, who did you nikah?" Right? Like, who did you marry? You don't say that. It's about consummation, is basically what it is. So the app is like simply consummation, which is my goodness, because in the Quran, whenever it's talking about nikah, it's talking about legal forms of consummation, of intercourse, of completing the act. It's not talking about a marriage bond. It is actually talking about an act. And so, like, that's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable.
So you're saying you're not ready to download the app and sign up?
My goodness. I just, my goodness.
The rent is going down. These days of Elijah. And Hutchie says, I could be doing with another wife. Where do I sign up? Sadly, the app is not out yet. Despite him recording this advertisement, it has not been released to the public yet. So we'll have to wait and see what it's actually like. So in his video where he's explaining why he recorded this, he says, calm down, people. It hasn't even been released yet. We just were building some hype for it. Once it comes out, you'll be happy with the results. I think it's just the older generation that's already married and is just jealous of the younger generation who has this better technology. Amazing stuff for sure. Mufti smashing. Could be, could be. He does seem to be all about the dollars. You know, whatever he can do to increase his own wealth, which is already quite substantial by any standard, really, he's happy to do. If that means putting his name to some new dating app because they gave him a bucket full of money to endorse their product, well, who cares what it does for his reputation as long as
And it
he's got his dollars.
and it has AI. Everything's AI, even though nothing is actually nothing that's been produced is intelligent. It's just predictive modeling. It does not think, it is not intelligent, it does not actually evaluate things, right? But AI is a new cool hip term.
And
So
it's even
everything's AI. Everything's
so
AI. It's going to
yeah,
be
well,
crypto. You're lucky it's not crypto. And a few months ago, it would have been NFTs. It would have been the
yeah.
NFT Nikah.
Blockchain dating.
Yes, seriously. And so after you've dated someone, you can keep their body count because it's written to the blockchain, and
So
everyone.
supposedly, since I watched a little bit of his explanation video, supposedly the way it is AI is that the AI reads all of your conversations that you're having with a potential, someone pursuing marriage, in theory, pursuing marriage, uh, and then warns you if that person is suspicious. Like it'll be like, hold on, this guy who's been messaging you, he seems to be giving off some red flags. You should probably
Goodness.
consider that's what he says that the AI is going to be used for.
Yeah,
I,
because you
I
know
can't
how
imagine any
good AIs are at
possibility
that.
of false flags there, both directions,
Yep.
falsely warning you about someone who is actually genuine and not warning you about a stalker. I mean, the AI is definitely going to know whether that person who's typing messages is legit or not. But that's what he
Yep.
says it's going to do. So look for that coming to an app store near you soon. All right. I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to say about that. Let me take a couple of these comments here. 724 Code Art says we're here 20 hours in advance.
But he said it 20 hours ago, so he was here 20
Indeed.
hours in advance.
Indeed, indeed. And Tanzel Musclehud gave a super chat. And let me see what's up with the bot. Yep, bot went down. Shame on me. I thought that looks like someone with characters I did not anticipate. So I fixed it and for emojis, but in this case, they're using some extended characters from another script, and it caused the bot to go down. So shame on me for not anticipating that possibility. Let me get it started back up here. But in the meantime, the super chat says Muslims say the Zamzam well never dried. Is this true?
Absolutely not. They used to, whenever there was a drought, they would have to bring water up from Jeddah to uh, to Mecca whenever the pilgrims came, because there was not nearly enough water to sustain anyone in a year that was particularly dry that had a drought. And so they had caravans of camels just bringing water. And if Zamzam is supposed to be wonderful and have all this delicious taste and everything else, but really it was acrid and almost unbearable to drink. And so they were unable to even use the water just for regular drinking water. I had assumed previously that it was just a regular drinking well, but it wasn't. It tasted really nasty because of its location and the amount of time that the water tended to have contact with the rock. So it was not like, perhaps it is true that at the time that they were hauling water up from other places, the Zemzem had small amounts of liquid in it, enough to take tiny sips and go, oh, I feel the magical effects. But it never supplied enough for people to like use as drinking water. It just didn't. It was never used for that. So right now it is mostly fake. They take it from Jeddah, from desalination plants, and it's pumped all the way to Mecca. And in Mecca, they pump it into the into the earth and right back out again, and pretend that it's somehow been transformed into Zemzem water. And they then perfume it and add stuff to make it taste like special. So they're doping it with stuff to make it feel special. So that's what's going on. Ha.
And Mary, you're mistaken. They can't dope it with anything or add anything to it to change it, because water is always pure. You cannot contaminate it, but you also can't enhance it. This is the knowledge of Muhammad, and I would hate to think that he could be wrong. So let me try calling up that super chat again.
Brothers and sisters, why to lose this great opportunity? Remember, when the person is on his deathbed, the last minute, he will ask Allah Jalla wa Ala to be delayed for 1 second to do what? Not to pray, not to do other things, but to give sadaqah, because sadaqah you can give it just like this, in 1 second.
All right, there you go. It's working. So thank you very much for that super chat. And the Cosmos said, congrats on your 20th super. So there was a little thing that said to congratulate Tanzel for making his 20th super chat anywhere on YouTube. So Cosmos did that. I also wanted to address this from before we started. The infinite genius of no pain, no gain says, I wonder how Christianity started in the first place, considering Jesus may not have likely existed. You put your knot in a very strange place.
I mean,
but obviously what you're trying to imply is that it's not likely that Jesus was a historical figure. Very interesting. We'll let Muhammad Hijab handle this one.
You crazy?
I think he might be crazy.
No legitimate, reputable historian thinks that Jesus didn't exist. That is an extreme fringe position that is roundly mocked by even the hardest atheists as being utterly stupid.
And here it may have likely been probable, according to our genius here. Adam Stewart handled this. He said, and would you use that same criteria to suspect any other historical figures of that time? To which No Pain, No Gain said, if these historical figures are believed to have been a divine or performing miracles, then yes. So anyone who has claimed to have performed miracles can't possibly be a historical figure. Of course, Adam says this is ridiculous, that would you apply this criteria to anything else?
Alexander the Great, by the way,
Is
claimed
believed to
divinity.
perform miracles. Yep.
Alexander the Great claimed to be the son of Zeus after he went to the Zeus Ammon place in, oh gosh, what was called? Something. Well, I'm going blank on the name now. Anyway, in Egypt, he went to a particular place and they declared, "Oh, you're the son of Zeus Ammon," and he's like, "Yes, yes, I am." And so he said he was divine after that. So according to
So
No
he
Pain,
no
No
longer
Gain,
exists.
because there is nothing from that survives except in quotation and several and for a couple hundred years after Alexander the Great's death. There's no original work that's been copied, and within 200 years of his death, that was just copied. Um, so he clearly did not exist, according to him. So there we go.
Indeed, and not just Alexander the Great, but a good percentage of ancient kings considered themselves to be divine. It was fundamental to the entire Egyptian system, for example, that the pharaohs were divine. And yet, apparently, that means that we can't believe any of them ever existed. It's highly probable that they did not exist because they were claimed to be divine. And then No Pain No Gain in his final comment says, each historical figure is assessed on their own terms. So you're kind of a dumbass to use the criteria or compare Jesus to others. So he's kind of a dumbass for having a consistent standard for all historical figures. This is what atheism leads you to, unfortunately.
Can't take you seriously.
Just can't take you seriously. And finally, as Adam points out, they're modern claimants, right? They're modern people who go around saying that they are divine, saying that they're working miracles, saying that they're prophets, all kinds of things. Apparently, by the standard of our amazing atheist friend, they do not exist. Such people cease to exist when they make such a claim. And I think Trinity Matrix summed it up well. Christ was a real figure. How stupid can a human being be? Quite stupid. Finally, one comment on topic here. Andrew Martin says, I'm of the opinion that Jibril was a demon. We will see. We will see. All right, I brought up your presentation.